What's going on, guys? Daily here, and welcome to a World War II RTS battle simulator that I have not played for a solid, I want to say, 5 years now. Like, it has been a hot second. And that, of course, I'm sure many of you guys recognize it, is Company of Heroes 2, which is having a massive resurgence at the moment. I mean, there's so many classic battle simulator and RTS YouTubers that I used to watch play Company of Heroes 2 back in the day, playing it again. Pixelated Apollo, I'm not sure if he ever played it, but he is playing it right now. I saw Shermanator is doing some videos on it. He just goes by Sherman now. And there's a couple others who are just jumping on this Company of Heroes 2 gameplay wagon, and I am all for it, dude. I am really hyped about this, so I thought I'd hop into a public match here and play. Again, it's been like 5 years, so this is my first match back, and I was pretty happy with how it went. It was fairly riveting, you know, bit of a comeback in certain points, but yeah, I was pretty rusty. I went ahead and just yoked forward our units to the farthest points to capture them, including this victory point right here, and ignored a bunch of white points that are uncaptured right off the rip. That might have been a bit of a mistake, but eventually I do get those points, and yeah, I was just a little overzealous. So we have a guards rifleman up here, just standard conscripts, but they're not a penal unit, so they're not too horrible. Capturing a victory point within 2 minutes of the start of the map, I will say that's pretty good. We're also going in ahead and building a better barracks over here, the support weapons Campagna, which of course has like mortar teams, machine gun teams, and I think the Zis gun, I believe. So that will be pretty helpful for us right there, and we're spreading out right now. Of course, here real quick, I'll just show you guys. So this is what our enemy is seeing right here. They're seeing all of this. They can't see us, and they are playing as the Wehrmacht army here. Oh, and we have our first engagement going on right now. I decided to push our guards riflemen forward here to try and capture this, just get into their territory maybe a little bit. And yeah, it's not a great choice. I see they've got a machine gun already set up, so I retreat back. Honestly, my enemy here has a lot better of a setup really early on. He's captured more points. He's got better units like machine guns up already. He's quickly building some, or actually no, he wasn't. I thought he was building better places earlier on, but he's not really. Okay, interesting. But yeah, he did sort of lay down a better foundation than I did, which results in me losing quite a bit at the very beginning of this battle. But I do get a second victory point right there. That's fairly major, dude. That is fairly major. So our enemy in blue right here is ticking down. Yeah, so that is pretty nice for us right here. We can go back to Fog of War. So this is what I'm seeing, and there is a rush for the middle victory point. I throw my pioneers in there. He hasn't set up his machine gun. I think maybe I can get it. I get the kill on one of them. This is, you know, really, really risky being this far out against guys. And even without the machine gun, they have submachine guns. And then it just starts rattling off, and it just starts mowing us down. So close to being able to make this happen. And then I go ahead and get a mortar in here. The mortar sort of allows our pioneer to get away right there. This guy tries to reset up to fire at the mortar. I will say I don't use this mortar as well as I could during this battle. You know, here's the Fog of War. I can't see this right now, so I just start kind of randomly shelling over there, and then I reposition it just a smidge. But I let them go ahead and have that middle unit just for now. Just for now. At this point, I have gone ahead and rebuilt our backline a little bit better. You're getting more units up here, so we have a machine gunner of our own. We should have a squad car out. Where is that? There it is. There's a scout car. Pretty effective early on. Right now, they are taking another victory point here. Again, early on, I'm doing just a horrible job here. My mortar starts hitting these guys over here. They start backing away. I thought, because I play a lot more competitive Men of War Assault Squad 2 and Gates of Heck, I thought a mortar would be really, really good. This was a mistake. I did not pay attention that there was a machine gun right there. I started setting up the mortar right here. This was idiotic. But yeah, mortars in Men of War are super effective. They're so effective against infantry. They're really, really good. I made the mistake of thinking it was the same in Call to Arms, or this is not even Call to Arms, in Company of Heroes 2. And it's just not. Our mortar gets pretty badly beaten down over here. Our guards rifle are pinned. I don't know what to do, if I should retreat them or not. And then he does a really smart thing. He goes ahead and pins us. He gets the remnants of his other machine gun right in here. Mortar's dead. It's gone. He's got 2 machine guns pinning down our guards riflemen. I don't even know what I'm doing at this point. This was where I was like, oh my god, he gets a 3rd machine gun in here that he's setting up. Maybe I wasn't even paying attention to the front line, I'm not entirely sure, but I just let them die. I don't even retreat them back. That was horrible. So that was really cringe of me. I go ahead and get Pioneers set up here. I start mining actually a decent bit because I'm worried that he is progressing so much faster than me and doing so much better that he's going to get tanks out here. So I start mining a little bit in crucial points. We get a machine gun over here literally just to protect this victory point. That's all I want it for. And I get a scout car up here. He brings up a machine gun right here, overextends way too much. I have a flamethrower Pioneer squad right there and the scout cars right here as well. This is where I get overzealous with the scout car. This was a big mistake right here. I push it in far too close, and it just starts getting shredded by the machine gun. I try and pull it back, but it's too late. First vehicle of the battle gone in a second. At this point, they're still losing. They're blue up here. I'm red. But, you know, it's pretty close. They're going to start gaining on me pretty bad here. We still got our flamethrowers here, which is nice. But that's really all I've got. I've also still not captured this point right here, so I move in a sniper to do that. I thought, you know, if I could snipe their machine guns from a distance, that'll work. I've got still a machine gunner over here and a Pioneer unit, and I don't know why, but I decided to push this up here. I'm really testing fate right now. I start mining this road here, by the way, as well. That mine, I think, actually works later on, which is cool. I like to see that. Alright, we've got the machine gunner capturing this right here. I finally got all my points I need. And at this point, let's find out what he's doing. Because I actually don't know. This was a bit of a lull in the action. He's set up MGs all around these hedgerows and up there on that tractor right there. He could have pushed me right now and had some serious success, but he doesn't. He's really only got those 3 going, and he's being a busy beaver back here building stuff. So I think that's what he's going for right now, is to boost his soldiers. He's got random Pioneers also set up way out here. Just completely useless. I think he's using them to defend, but like, why would you do that? Like, go capture the mortar with them, turn them into flamethrowers, you know, bring them back and build bases and things like that. I was a bit curious. I think he got a little too comfortable at this point. I think this is where he got a little bit comfy, didn't know what he was doing. I do go ahead and capture this MG right here. It's free, it's open, might as well. I do that quite a bit in Company of Heroes too. I go ahead and get another guard rifleman. So his little pause in the action where he doesn't push me actually allows me to boost my men quite a bit. So I've got a flamethrower Pioneer squad up here. I've got 1 back here, still good, and then an MG basically covering them. And I push in here, and he hasn't left anything over here. So he actually has to swing back his machine guns over this way to attack me. Now, this is an okay conflict for me. My flamethrower does pretty well. I run in these Pioneers trying to get them on this before he can set up, but sadly he does set up. So that's a little bit of a disaster. The flamethrower is doing well. I get the guards rifleman up here too. So that's sort of 1 machine gun totally taken care of, but the second is first of all, gaining experience like crazy. They're doing nuts and getting a ton of kills on me. So, you know, still fairly costly for me, but I decided to just fully commit. Part of me is thinking he's going to be rushing in with more soldiers, but he doesn't. He instead sends in this SDK. Now, this SDK just starts to go to work on my infantry over this way, but he definitely overextends it way too much right here. I mean, look at this. He is very, very deep in there, and he's just sitting there with it. Really, really dumb. Really, really dumb. That was silly. And so after winning that, I start to peep in a few guards riflemen over here, literally just testing the edges. And of course, I send some troopers back over here to go ahead and you know, regroup. I'm thinking at this point he's probably spent a lot of money on that SDK. We just wiped it out. He probably doesn't have a ton left. So I start to, you know, assemble my men here a little bit. I do eventually capture this point. I don't know what took me so long in doing so. There we go. Finally get it. And then I start to push over here as well, as you can see. He sends up a Pioneer squad up here. I have no idea why. It was kind of stupid. Maybe he was trying to capture the mortar. I'm not totally sure. But You know, I've got 2 MGs right now just shredding, just going off on this guy. And there's nothing he can do. He doesn't even retreat him back. I believe he just dies right there. So that was really, really a solid play. At this point, I do own 2 out of the 3 flags, and he doesn't really have anything to contest me. But I don't really know that. He's spent, I think, a lot of his points on early buildings here, and I'm just getting started on my my vehicles and stuff like that. So he's definitely got a little bit of an advance on me on that, but at this point, you know, I've captured a lot. I've got the infantry advantage going on, so I start to distribute pretty evenly across this thing. He does build, basically you can add a cache to certain areas to get more out of them, and so he starts doing that. He does have an MG backing him up. I just thought it was peculiar that he built a cache this far forward. Oh, he had some caches back here too. Some. Not a ton. Yeah, I was very curious as to why he built a cache this far forward. Maybe that's a strat I don't know about, but he did it. Then he sets up his MG here. I'm just teasing him right now with the guard's rifle. I think we're at a pretty good distance where the MG's not going to do a lot. It does, of course, suppress us right there, and then I try and sort of like push him back behind this Panzer a little bit better. But at this point, he's fully pinned us down. I just retreat us back, and I want our MG to get involved here. You know, if he's getting that involved, I want our MG involved. I don't even see the Pioneers right here either, so I'm trying to get back. Then comes this. Yeah, he gets a Wirbelwind in here. Oh, sorry, that's an Ostwind. Wirbelwinds are a little bit different. And that just starts spamming my troopers. This is what I'm talking about. He gets off to a great start in terms of vehicles, in terms of infantry. He does pretty well here at the start. This is very good for him. So he starts smacking me down here. He starts absolutely smacking me down. I lose. I try and retreat this. It's way too late. Should have done it earlier. I do retreat those guys back. And luckily, I had a ZIS 3 76mm already in production. So very serendipitous to have that going. Problem is, the only infantry support I have is over here, and they're already engaging right now while I'm trying to set up the ZIS 3. That's a bit of a problem. Now, his vehicle comes through right here and just starts to pepper us, and it's sort of given away the name of the game. I wish I had held fire this machine gun and been able to ambush both of them at once, and this is really smart what he does here. He continually tries to just zip around the ZIS. It does result in a rear hit, but it doesn't matter because he's able to just sort of avoid our fire, and then he also fires into it a little bit with his own guns right there, and bada bing, we do lose the AT gun right there. Big rip, and then he just starts going ham on our MG right here. Massive rip. Yeah. I retreat the MG, and boom! He hits our mines. Yep. That felt pretty good. That felt pretty good. That completely saved us from losing this whole fight. He would have chased and killed more men, probably discovered all this back here. We probably would have been able to kill him, maybe. But he would have killed a lot of us before we killed him, so that would have been a massive yikes. He got away with some pretty nasty stuff right there. The mine saved us, and it also kind of saved him a little bit, but I think it definitely, that mine placement was solid. Now, still over here, we're doing okay. We've still got 2 MGs. We've still got guards riflemen. I'm not pushing this, though, because I know he can just swing this over. So I'm going to wait a little bit until the rest of these guys get up here. So we're sending forward Pioneer Squad, and a guards rifle, and a machine gun squad. My idea is to get the Pioneer Squad to recapture this. I think he's repairing it, and he is indeed. So that's basically my hope here, is to, yeah, pile drive in here, recapture this, rotate it around. The MG's already got a nice little chevron right there. That's beautiful. We capture this, having a little bit of trouble rotating it around, especially with that MG fire blurting out, but we do go ahead and start shelling a little bit. We get our MG in place over that way. It's going to start rattling off 2 Pioneers, or sorry, these are guards riflemen. They're a little bit stuck. At this point, I do think I have Molotovs and anti-tank grenades available, which is going to be pretty helpful. Big hit on that Ostwind over there, doing great. We're crawling these guys in, and what I'm trying to do is trying to get close enough to get a Molotov off here on this machine gun, because right now the machine gun's pinning all of us. We are definitely winning this battle currently. They're also kind of pinned, but if I could get a molly off here, it's going to be over. And boom, we get it off, and that starts burning those boys, which is doing some pretty hefty damage. That's very, very nice. Our Pioneers did get wiped off of this thing, but they did their job. Now we just got to kill their Pioneers and their machine gun in order to finish this battle, and maybe we can capture the Ostwind. So we take out the MGs, but boom, they get a second Ostwind in there, and they start to wreck our Guards Riflemen. At this point, I'm like, you know what? They're so preoccupied. We move in over this way, and I've got a sniper here. I'm saying if I'm not taking this point, I'm at the very least taking this point. And that is where they started winning right there. They managed to lower our points enough to 399. They're at 405. They start winning. I sneak in there. I take that. And we're just getting rolled right here. But I want to try and keep these guys up here and distracting while these guys take that for basically as long as possible. And I've also got some stuff getting built back here as well. So basically hoping for that. He does end up wiping all of us here. We're back to tied here, and I've managed to capture that over there. And he is recapturing the middle here, and he's just going to chill there for a hot second while he recaptures. But here we go. This is when I get this bad boy in here. T-34-76. Look how sick it looks in that like burnt orange and green camo. Very nice. I get that. I get some Guards Riflemen to support. This is going to be pretty good. I decided to bring it around this flank because I figure that's where he's going to hit next, obviously. But instead, he seems to be more content on picking up some of these many MGs we have right here and just sort of chilling and defending for a bit. I do run our sniper back because we do have a medic back here who can heal him up. And we're also building another Zis gun too, by the way. I've realized he is relying heavily on armor. It's working for him. I don't have much to respond with it. So I start also investing a little bit in armor and mainly anti-armor, being those anti-tank grenades as well as anti-tank guns. We get these guys over here, basically just keeping them there for now to defend this point, or at least slow down an enemy approach there. I'm convinced he is going to attack. This is what I can see. Nothing. I'm thinking he's about to come out of the fog of war, go forward and split left or right. Or just attack, just head on from the flank. I'm convinced he's going to do that. What I would probably do is I'd probably go for the right flank because there's not been a lot of fighting there yet. I'd assume, oh, I'm pretty relaxed over there. What I would do if I was him, I'd push 1 unit or 2 units up this way and then flank around the back this way and basically just get a brutal hammer and anvil charge right there. That's what I would do. Instead, as we can see, he's just chilling. He's trying to repair this tank. I get that. And he's got another SDK, by the way. So he's looking at triple tanks here. But he's chilling right now, and he's building more. I think he wants to get like a decisive blow going. I think that's his goal. I think that's what he wants. I'm not going to let him do that, obviously. So, I've got my double MG here. I've got my T-34 waiting. I kind of want to, push that in once I've caught him by surprise a little bit. The sniper's back up over here. I've got this Zis gun in mind. I always want to grab that Zis gun. And I am building some more stuff back here, too. Another sort of anti-infantry gun. Yeah, the SU-76M, which is an assault gun. Good against infantry, pretty good against tanks too. Better. It's a tank destroyer in Men of War, but in this, I've found it's pretty good against infantry as well. We've got our new Zis gun up here. I'm plopping this here purely as anti-tank defense. I've also gone ahead and laid some more mines out as anti-tank defense. I'm really worried about this flank because, again, I told you what I would do if I was me. So we got that going on. He starts bringing up some more Pioneers. He's gonna load up this truck again, so he's looking at 3 vehicles here. But the problem is, he's not getting infantry to support the vehicles. It's very bizarre. It's very, very bizarre. And this right here, I think, is where the resource deficit starts to go in my favor. I do try and snag this. Do I get this at this point? I can't remember. I leave this guy here strategically for him to be shot at, then run him away, so we can snag this. So I'm bringing this back. We got a sniper there. We got another one here. So if he chases, he's going to be a world of pain. And I bring up the SU and T-34. So this is my pincer movement here. I decide I need to do something against him now. So I start moving in our boys. Our tank's much heavier than an Ostwind. It's not even a tank. It's an anti-infantry gun. Actually, it's an AA gun, right? I think. Or that might be the Wirbelwind. But either way, I mean, they're considerably lighter than what we've got. So boom, 76 gets a big kill on that right there. And then we start hitting this right here. And their infantry is working. They've actually sent this way over here. They counterattack on the right over there, hoping, I think, that I'd send these guys over there. But I know I've got this, and I've also got these guys with grenades. So I send these guys in with grenades. Boom! Big hit right there. Damage the engine. This thing is as good as dead. It'll get a couple more kills maybe on us, but bam, we managed to take it out. Very big stuff right there. We've got this. I start to artillery barrage these guys right here. That's the beauty of the Zis. You can also use it as artillery in this game against the enemies. It's very, very effective. There's the artillery right there. And then we start moving in our tanks to also hit them a little bit right here. At this point, I should be bringing in the guards. The guard riflemen. I don't know why I'm not. I really should be. But I'm just not. And I don't. I probably should have saved a little bit more health of these guys and stuff, but whatever. I'm moving the guards. We're gonna go ahead and capture that. And at this point, he's got nothing. He's got two pioneers squads back here. That's all he has right now. I've wiped him, and I'm gonna, you know, take this. I'm gonna secure some machine guns over here as well. We're chilling right now. We're chilling, and he has been exhausted. He's down 100 points now. He took some hefty losses right there. All right, so it's been a little bit, maybe a couple minutes here, and I actually start pushing back in these areas a little bit. I'm like, you know what? He's not attacking. I think I've really injured his economy. I'm going to start pushing and trying to destroy these caches here and injure it further. He sends up some pioneers here, but he's building something nasty. He is building something nasty right now. This is like his Hail Mary. He's realized he's waited too long to make these moves, and he lost the big fight I think he wanted to make. This is interesting. He sends these guys all the way around on a very big flank. It's very bizarre. I don't know why he does that. With two pioneer squads. That's it. Maybe it was a distraction. I don't know. But here comes his third unit. A big old Panther tank. A big old Panther tank. That's really... That's a rough one. That's a strong tank. Right now I'm just going after his weapons cache. Destroy that. And, you know, start to capture. Bada bing. Still got these guys all back here on standby. We're looking okay, and I've got a third tank in production. Actually, it's a tank destroyer, so I'm not too worried, and he's just chilling with this. He doesn't push it forward for a little bit. It's very strange. Here comes his pioneers. I just built this cache right here, and his pioneers come out of nowhere. There's no way he knew that I was building this cache, right? That's just like not possible. So I don't know. I decided to send what I've got. I got an SU-100, or sorry, it's an SU-85, and a Zis gun. I sent it in to try and help these guys. I built these guys a flamethrower. That helps them a lot. I'm very confused. I'm very, very confused as to what he's doing right here. Retreat that guy back so I can save him. They chase. We get into like a little skirmish here. Bada bing, bada bum. Just fighting, and we pretty much crush him. It's just a very weird little nuisance. Just really made no sense to me why he did that. Maybe it was a distraction. Maybe he was worried I was coming on too strong, but he is building himself something at his munitions area. It's a little spooky. It's one of these bad boys, a Panzerwaffe, which always looked really bizarre in Company of Heroes to me. They look like a weird little like Tonka truck thing. So he's got this over here. He's still mucking about. He gets in this house, and I just kind of have to shell the house a little bit, burn it down. There we go. He's dead. He's toasted. Brought back the flamethrower just to deal with that. But here we go. He sends in the Panther, and he leaves this behind. He leaves it behind for the time being. I don't... And no infantry support. He is building infantry. He's building Panzer Grenadiers. The first elite infantry besides machine guns he's built this whole time. He sends in the Panther. I spot it immediately with this Su-85. And start shelling it, and of course I'm in panic mode. I'm like, that's a Panther. So I start bringing forward Zis guns. I start bringing forward everything. I'm worried he's got a whole backup with this thing. You know, I'm convinced he's got a whole backup, and I even call in my artillery, my special units, which blows it up sky high. And that thing's dead. And he didn't even send in this or his Panzergrenz. He didn't send in either of those. This is like shocking to me. Now he sends this in. Look how fast this dies. Yep. That's how fast it dies. Here's his Panzergrenadiers. They start coming in here. They have AT grenades. He could use them here. But he chokes it. I think he does try. I can't remember. But he kind of chokes it. Yeah, these guys are dying. He gets one more machine gun squad out here. He's building more pioneer squads. And at this point, it's pretty much game, you know? I start to just raid this just because, like, screw it. Let's just put the nail in the coffin here. He starts pushing up over this way and just makes a mad dash for a victory point. And that pretty much ends in nothing. And, you know, we're destroying stuff back here, and he ends up losing. So here's our personal stats right here. The most valuable unit was one of the Zis guns, which was surprising because we had some trouble with the Zis guns. You know, 1,000 damage taken is a lot. And then the Exterminator was the T-3476 with 19 kills. That's crazy. Got 19 kills. That's pretty insane. Overall, we dealt double the damage he dealt to us. We captured more, we lost less, we killed more, and this is the graph. So here's my graph. You know, I kind of come up here. I take some pretty bad losses right here at like the 18-minute mark. I survive, but it's looking pretty bad. And we had losses this whole time too. Like, we struggled a little bit at our army value. And this could have been the point where he wins at the 18-minute mark. But as you can see, we're even. He makes massive plays. We get into a big engagement right here. We're about the same value. And he doesn't have the resources to rebuild quickly enough. He plummets and I skyrocket. I mean, there were some moments where I easily could have lost, especially at the early game. He outdid me in the early game very easily. I made some major mistakes. He made some mistakes right here in mid-game. But he came back, and right here is where he almost had me. He almost had me crushed, and then boom, he just plummets. You can see the resources here. He weirdly enough had more resources than me most of the time, but he spent it on junk. You know? And then points held. I managed to sort of float above when I needed to, which was good. Just very, very bizarre what he did here. My efficiency rating for most of my units were very good. I think I used them a lot better than he did. Total vehicle stats, 212% efficiency. 100% is basically the unit paid for itself, you're good. 212% means it dealt out double what it should have. And then infantry, 186%. Absolutely crazy. Either way, guys, that's going to be about it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and comment down below if you want to see some more Company of Heroes 2 in the future. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Be sure to click that subscribe button for more content, and hit the notification bell if you'd like to be alerted to whenever I live stream or upload. Thanks so much.